Hello dear friends. I wanted to talk about the spring, but I don't see flowers, just skullcaps and shrapnel. Opinion piece. Pandemonium. Wild chaos. Capital of hell. Informative devilry. Ceremony of confusion. The madness has to stop. Get the fear out of your guts. The law of confusion rules 3D. Social networks are a mess. Darkness confuses the contours. Entanglement is part of free will. There are good people who make moves. Bad people are upset in their behavior. Let's start. The surface of the earth is a chaos, a confusion, generated by many different and conflicting intentions and creations. The law of confusion applies whereby you must be allowed to make your own free will decisions as to which path you wish to follow, according to a message from Ranbra. Therefore, we do not have the nitty-gritty details of whether this is so and so, or details such as who is more white hat and who is more black hat, or grey hat, or red hat, or blue hat, or about how to resolve this confusion. Darkness confuses the outline of things. Confusion is perplexity, uneasiness, and confusion of mind. To confuse is to mix diverse things in such a way that they cannot be recognized or distinguished. Confusion is muddle, disorder, mess, mud, tangle, mixture, jumble, and tangle. However, we have a basic wisdom which can help us come to our own conclusions and decisions. Feel free to make it your own or reject it. I reflect opinions of other humankind that might help you come to your own conclusions, decisions, actions, or inactions. When they are presented, it doesn't mean that we necessarily endorse as truth everything they say. You bring about your own spiritual path and future through your own conclusions, decisions, and actions, or lack thereof. Furthermore, your influence to other people, can make big difference in how they decide their own future spiritual path. Your own future is decided right now by yourself. The very future of humankind is decided right now by humankind. Just stop the madness in your own area. Get your country back on its feet. Use your visualization skills. The future of all that this is decided to a considerable degree right now by your own decisions or indecisions, actions or inactions of yourself and humankind. Therefore, it might be a good idea to reflect on the issues affecting your own and humankind's future path and choose wisely. Puffness said, "The madness has to stop. Get the fear out of your gut and make the effort to stay clean and positive. There are things to do and people to listen to, and a lot to put into action. You can't sit back and just watch the parade eating popcorn. Fulfill your life's mission." Law of confusion. Pandemonium is a place where there is a lot of noise and confusion. Social media is so full of opinion and speculation that it is very difficult to discern truth from fiction. For every opinion on a subject, there is an opposing opinion that denies it. Pandemonium is the capital of hell, according to the English writer John Milton. The most confusing thing you will encounter is when you try to combine your heart and the spirit of something that your mind knows is a lie. Most people arrive at their beliefs not on the basis of evidence, but on the basis of what they find appealing. When following a narrative and making a decision to believe it or not to believe it, a fundamental concept is to consider the source. It is never a good idea to judge someone's character based on the words of another. Instead of it, study the motives behind the words of the person making the bad judgment. I am inundated with information, flooded with information every day, some of which is very compelling. But at the end of the day, for those who want to believe, no proof is ever required. For those who refuse to believe, no proof is sufficient. As you digest the endless stream of information, conspiracy theories and opinions, believe the evidence, not the people, and you may see the truth through the fog of chaos. Definition. The dictionary definition of pandemonium is the imaginary capital of the underworld where demonic spirits gather around Satan, a place that gathers a large number of people and possesses one or another of the characters attributed to hell or the damned. Pandemonium is derived from the Greek words pan, meaning all or everyone, and daimonium, meaning little spirit, little angel, or little demon. It is therefore roughly translated as place of all demons. A word with similar roots would be pantheon, which refers to the totality of the gods. John Milton invented the name for the capital of hell, in quotes, the great capital of Satan and his peers, built by the fallen angels. The demons built it in about an hour, but it far surpassed all human palaces or dwellings, but remained small, for its spacious hall is described as being very crowded by swarming people of demons, who were taller than any human, until a sign they shrank from their titanic size to less than the smallest dwarfs. It was also said to be made of solid gold. The word, loosely translated as all demons, is the name invented by John Milton for the capital of hell, the high capital of Satan and his acolytes, built by the fallen angels at the direction of Mammon, at the end of the first book of Paradise Lost, 1667. They built in only 1 hour, but it surpasses in size any palace or place inhabited by humankind. However, it was still small for the demons, for it is said that they had to decrease its titanic size in order to fit. The second book begins with the debate between the demons in the council chamber of Pandemonium. Opinions. First, Elon Musk believes that the global financial reset could occur in the spring or summer of this year, 2022 or 2023 at the latest. Second, the QFS is and will happen. The work has been done at a much higher level. What you are reading are inflation reports. Third, we expect to see some improvements in a few days, not as much as we would like, but there are good people making moves that can help. Fourth, now you can understand why they are trying so hard to create a world war through confusion, disruption, and destruction. Fifth, they still have control over the media and various exotic weapons to create chaos. Sixth, the new global coalition of white hats controls the situation. Seventh, They have implemented the plan since 1999 with a coalition of 32 nations. 8. We are witnessing the most unbelievable movie in the history of humankind. 9. Keep the faith because we are inside the storm of the century to expose evil. 10. The bad financial actors have already been detected thanks to the quantum system. 11. The forces of light have communicated that there is a small but real possibility of internet outages in the very near future. 12. Humankind is in a renaissance, and the new world is replacing the old one. 13. We are moving away from oil and gas towards precious metals, Tesla's free energy and other technologies. 14. There will be millions of new technologies to work with as companies close. 15. The destiny of humankind has returned to the people, and we will be able to participate in changing the world from the ground up. 16. Trump and his grey hats have conveyed the narrative that they have to make things worse, to make things better, because if you make things worse enough, people will wake up. You can't make things worse forever in the name of making things better. They have gone too far in my judgment. Economics. First, Tuesday, March 22nd, was a red letter date for all nations and all currencies. Second, banks around the world were reporting that they had this new currency ready to deliver to customers. Third, Saudi Arabia is moving closer to accepting the Chinese yuan as payment for oil supplies to China. Fourth, Boeing's stock plummets following the plane crash in China and the airline's announcement that it will halt all of his 737-800 flights. 5. The Egyptian pound falls 11% after the Ukraine war sparks a flight from the dollar. 6. The petro-yuan is replacing the petrodollar in Saudi Arabia. Russia. First, Russia's divorce from the West has pushed it into the arms of China. Second, China and Russia are moving toward a gold-backed digital banking system. Third, Russia and China have declared that they are backed by solid gold assets, as required by the IMF. Fourth, this doesn't mean that their economies are going to take over the rest of the world. 5. Sberbank in Moscow opens its financial services with its new cryptocurrency. 6. It will be the first country to disconnect from the SWIFT system and enter a digital gold system. 7. Preference is already being given towards stable gold-backed currencies for trading. 8. Putin wants unfriendly countries to pay for Russian gas in rubles. 9. The ruble closes at its highest level since February on the movement of gas sales. 10. Russia wants NATO against the hypothesis of a peacekeeping force. China. First, Soros is breaking up the Chinese banking system and Rockefeller-controlled banks are pulling money out. Second, US sets red lines for China to help Russia dodge sanctions. Third, China sets green hydrogen for target for 2025. Fourth, China has initiated food shortages by raising the price of all products. 5. The price controls that China launched will affect everything in the world markets, from food shortages to plastic and microchip shortages. Inflation. How on earth did we go from the best economy in a little over a year to the highest inflation in almost 50 years. Second, in the last 8 years, central banks have bought $260 billion in gold reserves compared to the $60 billion in treasury bonds. Third, banks could collapse if they do not comply with Basel III and Bretton Woods III regulations. 5. The big reset for the bad guys would be to break the market to impose their digital fiat humankind tracking currency. 6. The big reset of the good guys would be to take advantage of the crash to introduce quantum computer system, QFS. 7. When the crash occurs, the banks will not move money and everything will come to a standstill. 8. NASA confirms that the dust apocalypse is headed to the Americas. Cryptocurrencies. First, a new well-reserved currency is on the way, and anyone can make transactions from their PC. Second, Ripple, XLM and XRP has the ability to work with any institution and has the ability to be exchanged quickly and profitably for any currency or asset around the world. Third, some experts say Bitcoin will go up before the crash and then crash. 4. El Salvador turns to Binance for help in adopting Bitcoins. 5. The price of Cardano cryptocurrency is up more than 9% in 24 hours. Collapse. First, the stock market falls 1% due to the oil rally. Second, bond markets in historic recession as central banks struggle with inflation. Third, the rise of Eurasia. As China and Russia solidify their economic and political alliance, the West is missing a historic opportunity to join a multilateral world. Fourth, the Fed's real inflation gun will crash markets. The Fed is fighting inflation fire with a water gun of a 25 basis point hike, which is not enough according to Peter Schiff, economist and global strategist, chief economist and global strategist at Euro-Pacific Capital. 5. Fed loses credibility. Bloomberg contributor Mohamed El-Rian says the Fed is forced to choose between risking a recession or prolonging inflation. 6. Bill Gross warned that the Fed rate hikes would crack the economy and housing market. 7. SEC agency files related to 9,000 investigations have been illegally destroyed over the past 20 years, according to CNBC. The SEC is the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, a regulatory and supervisory agency for the financial markets and is responsible for enforcing federal laws. 8. Clients plead with major banks to stay in Russia. Global banks including Citigroup Inc., JP Morgan Chase & Co., and Societe Generale face pressure to remain as custodian banks in Russia because they fear they could lose critical services for future investments in the country. 9. Russian journalists raise their voices against censorship in their country. Europe. First, Brussels allows giving up to 400,000 euros per war-affected company. Second, Europe must produce more food to counteract the effect of the war. Third, farmers denounce rising fertilizer prices. Fourth, the European Commission has decided that from 2023, nothing will grow on at least 4% of arable land across Europe. Farmers will simply stop tilling and sowing this land from autumn 2022 in order to receive direct payments from the European Union, known as Basic Income Support. 5. The UK and the European Union risk facing a recession if Russian gas and oil are banned. 6. According to British Chancellor Rishi Sunak, a total ban on the import of Russian oil and gas will turn into a disaster for both the UK and the European Union. 7. Germany on the standby for power grid failures. 8. Sweden issues an emergency transmission system and warning of internet collapse. Spain. First, software bug disrupts Spain's rail network. Second, the Spanish government will charge the oil companies 250 million of the 5,000 million it offered to the transporters, which they did not accept. Third, hundreds of Andalusians rally against the Spanish government's position on the Sahara. Supply crisis. First, food shortages have begun in Turkey, a NATO country. Second, the majority of people in Afghanistan and Yemen face poverty and hunger. Third, the war between Russia and Ukraine is already causing unprecedented disruptions in supply chains, exacerbating food shortages and causing chronic inflation. Fourth, if the Russian Federation stops gas supplies to Germany, next winter Germans will not have enough gas to heat their homes, said the German Minister of Economics. Ford says its European production is affected by chip shortages. 6. Truck drivers in Melbourne, Australia, threaten to stop working over fuel prices. Happiness. Happiness is a choice, not an outcome. Nothing will make you happy until you choose to be happy. It is only with the heart that one can see correctly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. If you do something out of duty, it will exhaust you. But if you do something out of love, it will energize you. Choice is the most powerful tool we have. Everything comes down to choice. We exist in a field of infinite possibilities. Every choice we make closes and opens an infinite number of doors. At any moment, we can change the direction of our life with a simple choice. It is all in our hands, our heart, and our mind. If you carry only one thing throughout your life, let it be hope. Let it be the hope that better things will always come. Let it be the hope that you can get through even the hardest times. Let it be the hope that you are stronger than any challenge that comes to your way. Let it be the hope that you are exactly where you are meant to be right now, and that you are on the path to where you are meant to be, because during these times hope will be what gets you through. Gratitude is the highest frequency, and the more you appreciate, the more life gives you to appreciate. The overall goal is love. No separation, no hate, no selective care. Love is the only frequency to which we can all rise. Mastering the darkness is necessary for the light of the higher realms to shine. When was the last time you stopped for a second and gave yourself the credit you deserve for how far you have come, how much you have grown, the person you have become, the transformation you have undergone, and the hard lessons you have learned? Honestly, you should be very proud of yourself. The human being who understands himself seeks nothing. His mind is limitless, undesirable, and for such a mind the immeasurable can emerge. Be a writer of your life and a reader of your mind. The more you know yourself, the less you need the approval of others. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.